hasn't always been just a plethora of new build communities out there to choose from in the last couple of years, but actually the new builds are really starting to pick up. We've been behind in inventory, but now the builders are really starting to make up for some of that inventory was lacking. We know that they were furiously building, really trying to get a lot of new builds in there to meet the demand. And now that buying demand has backed off a little bit, a lot of that home building has started to catch up. So there's actually really some great new communities out there, beautiful new build communities that are coming that we're actually going to explore on this channel. We're going to go and we're going to take some tours of those. I'm going to show you some of those. But at the same time, there's a lot of things to be aware of. So today we're going to talk about the top 3 things that you need to be aware of when you purchase a new construction home, and just things to watch out for, things to be aware of, because there are a lot of things that you need to know going into this build so that you're fully prepared for that as you walk down that new build road. I do try to prepare all my clients for some of these things, and we are doing some things here at the Nashville niche to kind of take that load and that burden off of you so that you can feel more comfortable during your build. And we're going to talk about what some of those things are at the end of this video, so be sure to stay tuned for that. But if this is your first time visiting my channel, my name is Jennifer Gramling. I'm a real estate agent here in the Nashville area. I put out weekly content trying to get you more familiar with Nashville. If you're thinking about moving here or relocating, this is going to be a great channel for you. We talk about all the best places to live, work, and play in and around the Nashville area, and just try to give you as much information as we can. So be sure to subscribe if that's helpful to you. And then also, you can find all my information in the contacts. Again, I'm a realtor here, so if you have any questions at all about moving or relocating, I'd be happy to answer any and all of your questions. So be sure to reach out to me. You can send me a text, call, or email. I'll be glad to respond. So just be sure to go ahead and reach out to me. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about what these 3 things are that you really need to be aware of when you are building a new home in one of these new communities. With almost any one of these builders, this is going to apply, because I see the same things across the board. Okay, so I don't necessarily want to turn this into a gripe session, so hopefully it doesn't end up coming off that way, but I have had a lot of issues with builders, a lot of issues that my clients bring up as you walk down this path. I mean, there are a lot of moving parts that go into a build, so we will give the builders credit for that. But there are a lot of things that you want to watch out for, a lot of things that can go wrong, and so you really just have to keep your eye on these things as you move along. So the first thing that I would say is that you need to keep really great notes and records of everything that you have ordered in your home. Whether you're buying a spec home or whether you're buying a build from scratch where you get to choose your options and you get to make selections, you need to keep great notes and great records on what those things are, so that if they aren't done the way that you have asked them to be done, you can go back to them and get them done right, get a credit, do whatever it takes to get that resolved if they aren't done properly. And I am seeing a lot of this across the board. It's not specific to any builder, and I do work with a lot of different builders, but I am seeing a lot of mistakes being made. My clients will order something in the design center, or they will order something structurally, and it will not be correct. Things that you wouldn't even think of. So ceilings being ordered to 13 feet and being framed out at 9 feet. Having to go back to the builder and asking them to reframe because they just built the wrong height ceilings. Tile patterns being wrong. Grout and tile colors being wrong. Wrong banisters, wrong concrete for patios. Just any number of things, really anything that you can imagine going into your home, they can be done incorrectly. And there's always room for human error, so we're not placing the blame on anybody necessarily, but you would be surprised that some builders don't keep a lot of notes, a lot of paper trails, the way that you think that they would. And so we need to kind of be doing that for the builder to hold them accountable so that we know what they're doing and if it matches up with what we originally ordered. And then to go along with that, make sure that you're getting everything in writing so that you do have that paper trail. So just make sure to get everything in writing so that you know when you go back to them with something, you have proof that they agreed to it, that this was in fact in the plans, to see what kind of resolution that you can come up with. Okay, the second thing that's gonna go hand in hand with this is going to be have someone to babysit your build for you. And it sounds ridiculous. I have a friend who said there was a lady in his neighborhood who camped out in front of her house with her lawn chair every single day and watched those builders and everything they did so that it was all perfect. And we used to laugh about that and think that was really funny, but now I actually get it. Now I see the kinds of mistakes that are made, mistakes that you wouldn't think would be made, they can be made. And so if someone's not kind of keeping tabs on them, and not that we need to sit out there every single day and make sure that things are being done right, we do need to just kind of keep tabs at least weekly, making sure that things are where they said that they are supposed to be or are what they say they are. So if you want to do that yourself, or hire a great agent who will be doing this and helping you with this. Especially all of my clients, really for the most part, are coming in from out of town, from somewhere else. So they aren't available to come here. So you're definitely going to want to find an agent who can do those things for you, or a friend or yourself, whoever should do it. So just be sure that someone is going out there every single week and touching base with you if you can't be there yourself, and verifying against your notes, against your records, all those things that we just talked about, making sure that they all line up with what is being done out there so that we can follow up quickly. You definitely want to follow up quickly on if something is done wrong, and not leave it until the end, until you're a week out from closing, because there's probably not much that can be done about it at that point. You're going to want to stay on top of it as far as holding them accountable on everything that is being done. And especially if you're paying extra, if you have things that you really wanted in your house, you go to those design appointments and you pick the things that are very important to you. And if you think that you're waiting 12 to 18 months on a new build home that's going to be exactly what you want, and it ends up not being exactly what you wanted, even when you paid for it and you waited for it, can be a real disappointment. So you really just want someone babysitting that build and checking in on them to make sure that they are doing things the way that they are supposed to be done. And that is always going to pay off in the long run. So you're going to want to make sure to do that. Okay, the third thing that you're going to want to be aware of, and you're just going to have to prepare yourself mentally for this, is that if there's things that are wrong after you close, you need to be mentally prepared to really chase them down and make them fix those things. Some builders are pretty good about getting things done that need to be done, but so many of them just will put you off and wait and not get those things done, whether it be a warranty item or following up on things that you clicked off on your checklist that needed to be done after closing, and they signed off saying, yes, we will have these done in the next 30 days. And you know what? Usually they're not. And they will tell you that they have incentives to get them done in the next 30 days and give you a lot of talk to let you believe that those things will be done. But a lot of times, if you don't really stay on top of them, they will not get done in a timely manner. And sometimes if they can get away with it, they probably won't do anything about it at all, because there's probably someone else further up in the line who's yelling louder than you are. So you really want to, if possible, get those things taken care of before close. So it's good to have a pre-closing inspection and have a lot of those items addressed a week or so before you close, so that they can be done and they're not outstanding and lingering after close, because those can really become an issue. They can become a time suck. Just following up with them and bird dogging them and trying to get those things done can be really, really hard. And it can be really frustrating if they're not giving you the answers that you want and they're not getting things done in a timely manner. So I think just being mentally prepared for that fight, if there happens to be one after, it's a really good place to come from. And a lot of these things, I don't think people realize, but building is not really for the faint of heart. With all those moving parts and all those things that can go wrong, sometimes you do just have to fight back and forth with the builders to get things done the way that you know they need to be done, to get them done right. If trim work is sloppy, if paint is sloppy, just minor things like that, just getting them to correct it. They're not always going to want to do that, but they need to do those things. And we need to get them right as much as possible before the end of the build, before close, so they don't fall into that window afterwards, because that is when it can really take a lot of time to get those things fixed. And I do get a lot of calls, surprisingly, from clients who get fed up with chasing down the builders and trying to get these things done. I will step in. Sometimes that extra voice does help, but that is why you really need someone on your side helping you from the beginning all the way to the end. And so then, just to touch base on some of those things that we are doing here at the Nashville niche, is that we are going to hire someone full-time who can help babysit these builds all the way from beginning to end. So we can help keep those records for you. We can help make sure everything is in writing. We can kind of keep track of that paper trail for you and with you, so that burden doesn't 100% fall on you. And then that person can also follow it through. We go out, we do weekly videos. There's only so much that you can film when the footers are going in and when framing is going in. But once drywall and a lot of these other things start happening, you really want to be out there every single week, taking a video, comparing it to what you ordered, comparing it to your expectations, and making sure it lines up with that. And if it doesn't, then contacting the builder, contacting the project manager, and making sure that those things get fixed and get fixed quickly. So having just one point of contact for that, especially for my clients who can't be here in town, I think is just going to be a really valuable asset. And having someone dedicated to doing that every single week to make sure things are right will hopefully give people some peace of mind. So hopefully then between myself, that person, and my clients, we can get these builds done, get them done right in the first place, and then also help you follow up on anything you need following up with post-closing as well. At least anything that's within our ability to help with, we're glad to also do that. But again, sometimes these new builds can just be frustrating. If things aren't being done the way that you want them done, they can kind of become a pain. So our goal here is to try to help that not happen. And that is what we're trying our best to do when it comes to keeping these builders on track and holding them accountable. Okay, so those are just 3 quick things to be on the lookout for if you're building a new home. Keep those detailed notes, keep those detailed records, be out there babysitting that build, making sure that things are going in the way you want them to. If you want them to be right, you are going to want to babysit that build. And then be prepared after to chase them if you need to get these things done, because sometimes these builders will put you at the back of the list. They've already closed. So get as many of those things done up front as you can before close so you don't have to worry about that after. If something has to wait till after, stay on top of them to get that done as soon as possible. So again, there are some really great communities coming out, and these homes can turn out beautiful. Building a new build is one of the best things that you can do to get everything that you want on the lot that you want. It's really actually can be a great experience if you let someone help take on that burden for you. And there are some beautiful communities coming. So we're going to share some of those. I'm really excited about some of these new build communities that are coming out. Finally, we've got some opportunities in some new neighborhoods that weren't previously available. So that's really exciting. So we're going to talk about some of those in the coming weeks, so be sure to pay attention for that. And again, if you have any questions at all about moving or relocating or buying in any one of these neighborhoods, be sure to let me know. I'd be happy to help. Again, you can find all my contact information in the comments. And of course, be sure to subscribe. Thanks so much, and I'll see you on the next video.